Good Monday morning, everybody. It is Alistair, aka That Pesky Social Worker. I know I introduce myself that way every single morning, so for those of you that watch these, sorry. For the new people, now you know who I am. And that's kind of why I have to do it. I also post on a few different platforms. So I do Instagram. I'm also trying to put these on YouTube every day too, to try to, just branch out. So, what am I going to ramble about this morning? Two things. The first one is the concept of Mondays in general, and the second is negative self-talk. So when I first started this video, I started talking about how I hated Mondays and then scrapped it and started a new one. Because I realized that that was a lot of my negative self-talk breaking through. And what I mean by that is that if you've never heard that phrase before, negative self-talk or positive self-talk, it is what it sounds like. It's talking to yourself. Now, very clearly, I'm walking down the street holding a cell phone in front of my face, talking out loud in front of nobody, which causes some discomfort. But I have to just sort of push through that because ultimately I am talking to other people. I'm not talking to no one. People do watch this. I do get commentary. I do get feedback. People are like, hey, so I know it's somewhat helpful to at least a few of you. But the reason I decided to scrap it was because that negative self-talk was coming through, and this is something that I personally struggle with very intensely. I am a perfectionist. I like things to be just so the fact that, the camera moves when I'm walking bothers me, but I'm like, you know what, I'm walking, I'm a human in motion, I have to have grace with that. And I always want things to be a certain way, or it's terrible. Like I catastrophize, black and white thinking, all those cognitive distortions, or those I call them funhouse mirror thoughts because they really do distort things in a way that is not accurate. And that's what I found myself saying is a bunch of really inaccurate things like, oh, I hate Mondays and there's no and the reality is that I don't hate Mondays. What I am uncomfortable with about Mondays is that it signals the beginning of a work week that's not mine. And what I mean by that is that I'm still currently employed for a health system and eventually will be moving to hopefully being able to be online exclusively. But there is another job that I've got lined up when I move back to Virginia, which is something I haven't talked about on here yet either, tomorrow. But negative self-talk and Monday. So yeah, I was saying that, oh my God, I hate Mondays, but I don't. It's like I said, it's the beginning of somebody else's work week is really what it is for me. It's that dread of I now have to step into somebody else's agenda. I can't just, have my own. I can't, go do whatever I want. That one again. I have to give up, or that's what it feels like. It feels like giving up. My personal wants and my ventures for another, company that doesn't necessarily line up with my beliefs or my values or the things that are really important to me. So that's what I figured out it was. And to that point, I would like to say that Mondays are a choice, or whenever your work week begins, because I know that not everybody works on Monday. There are some people that their Monday's really Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Sunday. Whatever the beginning of your work week is, I'm going to say something that might not be popular, but the reality is that you have a choice. Now, there are really shitty circumstances that happen that sometimes limit those choices, but ultimately we always have a choice. You can choose to look at the beginning of your work week and think, it's Monday or Sunday or whatever it is, it's the beginning of your week, and you can be upset about it, and go into the week with the mindset of like, oh, it's another week, oh, it's Monday, oh my, ugh. If you just carry that feeling, we wonder why we get to Friday being like double which is why on the weekends, like I was saying before, I used to fall apart before I had a structure, because I was just so And the reality is that I wasn't setting myself up for the weekend. You set yourself up for your weekend on your first day of work. And what I mean by that is that you get to decide the kind of week you want to have. You get to decide the effort you're going to put in. You get to decide how much you're going to show up. All of it's your decision. That's scary for a lot of people. Accountability feels scary. Sometimes it feels like shaming. It's not my intent at all. But what I'm sharing with you is my personal experience and growth. And for me, part of that has been just changing my mindset about Mondays and trying to reframe it as, you know what, instead of it being somebody else's agenda, I get to still go help people in, an organized
systemic way right now, which some people need. That's the blessing. That's how I flip it around. And it takes a lot of work to work on that self-talk that gets you to that place to be able to say, you know what, it's Monday, instead of it's Monday. So if you're one of those people that are still on the it's Monday end of the spectrum, that's okay. What I would encourage you to do is try to find at least one thing to be grateful for, or one thing to look forward to, even if you have to make that thing, even if it's, I'm gonna go, well, everybody's on stay at home, so stay at home, but doing something for yourself, whether it's making a treat or going on a walk like this, or setting time aside to watch your favorite whatever for a couple of minutes just to give yourself a break. Like, build little bits of joy into your day, especially on Mondays. Makes the week a whole lot easier. So yeah, that's what I got for you this morning. I really appreciate you coming along for the walk. We hope you have a good Monday, a good rest of your week, and Grace and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.